Americano. Americano.
Alright, so guys, over the next few weeks, we're going to be learning about parent functions. So today, we're going to learn about linear. Functions on linear functions is defined as y equals to x. As we can see on the points, both the x and y are the same, so negative 1 to 1. This will be the graph as it's always increasing, and domain and range will both be negative infinity to infinity. While the x and y intercept will both be 0, 0. Alright guys, that's enough for today. Just prepare for your upcoming lesson. That's going to be tomorrow.
Hey, Mr. A, you want to buy this good product?
No, I'm trying to prepare for tomorrow's lesson, and you should be helping me too. Alright, so now we're going to learn absolute value. Absolute value looks like this. It has two lines and an x. The graph will be like this, and as you see the points, they're going to be that. So the negative basically goes away from the negative from the x. The domain from this will be negative infinity to infinity, but the range will be from 0 to infinity because 0 is the lowest point. The x-intercept and the y-intercept will be 0, 0. What is this?
Whoa, Jason? No, it's Jason. No, okay. Jason's cousin.
I don't care who you guys are. It's time for both of your lessons.
What is this? I have to be somewhere. I have business to attend to.
Silence! We're going to learn about quadratic functions. Today's lesson is going to be quadratic functions, and it's defined as x squared. In the graph, we see that negative 2 becomes 4 because we squared the negative 2. The graph will look like this. It'll go up and up and up. Go down and up. The domain will be negative to infinity, but the range will be 0 to infinity, just like the absolute value was. But again, x and y-intercept will be 0, 0.
Can I go now?
No, Jeremiah, you're dismissed.
Alright. What? What? Hey, I'm still tied up. Jeremiah's amazing shot, number 1337.
Not in my classroom. This next lesson is going to be square root, and it looks like a square root function and the x inside that. So we see that when it's 1, it'll be 1, it'll be 4, you square root that, and you get 2. The graph, therefore, will look like this. It'll keep increasing about slightly, and it'll go a little flatter. Domain and range will both be 0 to infinity in this case, while x and y-intercept will be, again, 0, 0. This is our lesson for calculus today. Don't forget to do your homework to learn about Dow Jones and how it relates to calculus. Yes, Jeremiah.
Who's Dow? What team does he play for? They win? Oh, Dow Ming!
What are you doing, Joseph?
I'm trying to make the absolute function.
Sure. Let's go back to work. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be cubic functions, and it's like x squared except with 3 instead of 2. The x will be negative 2 cubed, that will be negative 8, because negative 2 times negative 2, that's negative 2. And the graph will look like this. It will increase, go a little flatter, and then it will increase again. The domain and range will be both negative infinity to infinity, while both, again, the x and y-intercept will be 0, 0, 0, 0.
Oh, I give up.
Yes! I win!
What is this nonsense? Go back to work.
Wait, no, wait! Oh, come on! I worked hard for that thing!
Alright, so today's lesson is going to be cube root. And it's like square root, except it has 3 instead of the regular things. So again, it's that if you have -8, it will be -2. It's the opposite of cubic. So then it will be like a cubic function except sideways, and the domain and range will be -infinity, and range will be -infinity. And because our parent functions, both x and y intercept, it's going to be 0, 0.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh.
No more games! So now we learn about rational, and it's defined as 1 over x. So if you look at the points, it's negative 1 and 1, and 1 and 1, as we can see in the function. The graph will look like this, and like that. The domain is a little bit different because it's -infinity 0, or it's from 0 to infinity, as you can see here. Range will be -infinity 0, and from 0 to infinity. In this case, x and y intercept will not exist because it doesn't touch the x and y axis, but the asymptotes will be x equals 0 and y equals 0.
Mr. A, what are you doing? Shouldn't you be preparing for next week's lesson?
Hey, don't know what to do. I'm the teacher. You go study for your lesson. And you too.
What?
So today's lesson is about sine functions. Joseph, how would you define a sine function?
How do you define a sine function?
It's defined as sine x. And we can see this graph, it goes right here, right here, right here, right here. In this case, domain will be -infinity to infinity, range will be -1 to 1, and period meaning one sine wave will be approximate of 2 pi. So any questions? Yes, Joseph.
What is this kid doing here?
Yeah, I'm only in 4th grade.
No excuses, you're staring right here.
What are you doing? I'm prepping for Gangnam Style.
No dancing. Go back to work. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be on cosine functions, and it's defined as cosine x. It's like sine functions, except it's over here, it's 1. So the domain is going to be -infinity to infinity, range is going to be -1 to 1, and period again is going to be 2 pi, as this is 1.
Oh, come on!
Guys, this is not baseball time. Our last lesson is going to be on tangent functions. It's defined as tan x. These ones are going to be multiple functions as it goes right here, right here, right here, and right here. So the domain of nothing but R multiples is going to be of pi by 2. Range is going to be -infinity to infinity. The period is going to be pi. Now that you've learned all about parent functions, it's time to take your exam.
Oh, come on now!
Hey Jeremiah, before this exam starts, you want to buy a new product?
Sorry, Joseph. Video's over.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
Guys, come on, do your parent functions work. Guys, come on.
Can we move now?
Justin? No.